Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to write Writing Task 1. In this lesson, we are going to use a line graph. This lesson is meant for the academic students. If you are an academic student, then for your Writing Task 1, you will be expected to write an opinion on a chart. In this case, we are going to use the line graph. Now, I have uploaded a video about how to write the introductory paragraph and also how to write the overview for this particular line graph. So feel free to have a look at that video first, and then you can have a look at this particular video. Or you can look at this video and then you look at the next one so that you have a complete task. Now, remember, your Writing Task 1 is supposed to be made up of 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph is the introduction. The second paragraph is the overview. After that, you're supposed to write 2 body paragraphs. In this lesson, we are going to look at body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2. Now, once you have received your question, the first thing that you have to do is to look at the line graph. You need to look at the graph and extract as much information as you can. First, look at the horizontal line. There you have the number of cars ranging from 1,000 to 4,000. And then you have the vertical line where you can see the years from 1994 all the way to the year 2000. And then in the middle of the graph itself, you can see the 2 lines. The red line is for the Ferraris and the black line is for the Porsches. After that, you need to look at the information that IELTS has provided for the graph. In this case, the information is right at the top in red. And that is, the graph shows the number of cars imported to Germany from 1994 to 2001. The graph shows the number of cars imported to Germany from 1994 to 2001. And from looking at our graph, we know the cars are Porsches and Ferraris. Now, once you have collected that information, then the next thing is to write your introductory paragraph. And then after that, you write your overview. I have already uploaded that video like I pointed out, so feel free to have a look at that video so that you know exactly how to do that. And then once you have written your introductory paragraph and your overview, then you write the body paragraph 1. Now, for you to be able to write your body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2, the first thing you have to do is look at the information or the data that is provided in the graph and then divide that into 2 parts. In our case, we have years from 1994 to 2001. So you need to divide those years into 2. Remember, you have to do that division very logically, okay? There has to be some logic in your division. Either way, you have to divide the information that is provided in the graph into two parts. And you're going to use the information that you have to write the first body paragraph, and the rest of it you're going to use to write your body paragraph 2. In my case, I have decided to divide the information into two parts. That is from the year 1994 all the way to 1997. And then paragraph 2 is going to be from the year 1997 to the year 2001. Now, let's say, for example, instead of years there, we had, for example, just imagine that we had, for example, different types of machines there, okay? Or different types of kitchen equipment. Imagine that instead of years, we had things like kettles, microwaves, fridges, dishwashers, and so on. For you to write the body paragraphs, you still have to divide that information into two. So for example, you can do a body paragraph about kettles and dishwashers, and then in the next paragraph, you write about, for example, microwaves and dishwashers. I'm just giving a random example, okay? Either way, just remember the rule. Before you write your body paragraphs, divide your information into two categories and then use one category to write one body paragraph and use the next information in the next category to write body paragraph 2. Now, let us look at our body paragraph 1 based on the years 1994 to 1995. Now, the number of Porsches that Germany imported increased steadily from about 1,500 in 1994 to around 3,500 in the year 1997, in comparison to a sharp decline from 3,000 to 2,500 Ferraris in the same time period. Now, in that body paragraph, I have talked about Porsches and I have also talked about Ferraris. I have talked about them in regards to the years 1994 and 1995. I have explained that the number of Porsches increased steadily. So Germany imported more Porsches, okay, from 1994 to 1997. The number of Porsches that Germany imported increased steadily. Steadily means it was going up and up and up, 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 up at the same rate. It was going up and up and up and up. It means it was increasing steadily. From about 1,500 in 1994 to around 3,500 in the year 1997. So that is the side of the Porsches. And then after that, I have to talk about the Ferraris. To do that then, I used the linking word in comparison to, because remember, your writing task 1 is all about comparing and contrasting. Okay, so in that paragraph, I have compared and contrasted Porsches in the year 1994 to 1997. Germany imported Porsches increasingly, okay? Germany imported Porsches increasingly from 1994 to 1997. But in the years, in the same years, there was a sharp decline from 3,000 to 2,500 Ferraris that Germany imported. So in the years 1994 to 1997, the Porsches increased in numbers, but the Ferraris declined in numbers, a sharp decline, meaning that the numbers went down drastically. They decreased by a lot. So from 3,000 to 2,500 Ferraris in the same time period. The same time period is in 1994 to 1997. Now, if I don't want to repeat 1994 to 1997, then I write in the same time period. Because remember, when you're writing task 1, you're supposed to use a lot of word synonyms. Okay? Do not repeat your words unnecessarily. Try and introduce new words so that you can get a lot of marks for vocabulary. So, I began with the Porsches and I began with the phrase, the number of, okay? And then I used another very, very important phrase, increased steadily from about to around, increased steadily from about to around. When you're not sure of the specific number, you don't want to write, like for example, 3,502, okay? You can just use around 3,500. And later on you will see I'm going to change that word around and I'm going to use approximately, okay? So in that body paragraph, you notice that I have used some very, very, very important phrases that we use in academic writing when we are comparing graphs or charts, okay? And the phrases are, I have underlined them for you, so please memorize them, okay? The number of, increased steadily from about to around, okay, in the year. Take note of that preposition, in the year, okay? In comparison to, a sharp decline from, to, okay? We talk about a decline from, to, okay? From 3,000 to 2,500. A sharp decline, it means that it went down from this number to this number. So another thing that you notice also is that once you have put in a point or a fact, you then have to justify, you have to back it up with numbers. And years as well. I'm using 500, 1500, 1994. So use numbers, years, figures to support your claims. So that is body paragraph 1. Now let us move on to body paragraph 2. In body paragraph 2, I'm also expected to talk about the Ferraris and the Porsches in terms of their imports between 1997 and 2001. Now, between 1997 and 1998, however, there was a significant increase in the importation of Ferraris, ranging between 3,000 and 400 cars. Now, you notice that in the previous paragraph, I began with the number of Porsches. But the second body paragraph, I'm now beginning with the years. So you can switch it around. So between 1997 and 1998, however, I'm using that linking word, however, because in the previous paragraph, I ended it with the Ferraris having a decline, meaning Germany was importing fewer Ferraris between 1994 and 1997. But after that, Germany started importing more Ferraris. That's why I'm using the word however. So between 1997 and 1998, however, there was a significant increase in the importation of Ferraris, ranging between 3,000 and 4,000 cars. So, although in by the end of 1997, there was a sharp decline in the number of Ferraris that Germany imported. At the beginning of 1997 and 1998, there was a significant increase from 3,000 to 400 cars. Now, notice that I am using a significant increase. And in the previous paragraph, I talked about a sharp decline from. So those are opposites, okay? They are opposites. They are comparisons. They are comparatives, so to speak. A sharp decline from, a significant increase. Okay? So I've talked about the Porsches, or rather the Ferraris between 1997 and 1998. And now I'm going to move on to the next paragraph, to the next point. This was followed by a moderate decline in the following years from 1999 to 2000, when the Ferraris shipped in rose slightly from around 3,500 to approximately 3,700 cars. So although at the beginning of 1997, there was a significant increase in the number of Ferraris that Germany imported, from 1999 to the year 2000, the Ferraris that were shipped in, rose slightly from around 3,500 to approximately 3,700 cars. Okay? Now, in reality, that should have been, this was followed by a moderate increase. Okay? So, firstly, there was a significant increase in the importation of Ferraris between 3,000 and 400 cars. Okay? And then, after that, there was a moderate increase. So instead of decline, that should have been increase. Very moderate. Moderate means it was not a lot. Okay? This was followed by a moderate decline in the following years from 1999 to 2000, when the Ferrari shipped in rose slightly from around 3,500 to approximately 3,700 cars. So take note that it should be a moderate increase, not decline. Okay, increase. Now, and then I finish off by saying, on the contrary, the import of Porsches raised by 50,000, or rather 50% from 1994 to 2000. On the contrary, the import of Porsches raised by 50% from 1994 to 2001. So we started off with, that is between the years 1994 and 1998, with having a very significant increase, okay, in the importation of Ferraris from 3,000 to 4,000 cars. That is a lot. So that's why we're talking about a significant increase, because we're talking about 1,000 cars. And then that was followed by a moderate rise, because we're only talking about 500 cars, a moderate rise from 1994 to 2000, when the Ferraris shipped in rose slightly from around 3,500 to approximately 3,700 cars. But even though between the years 1997 and 2001, even though there was a rise in the number of Ferraris that Germany imported, between the years 1997 and 2000, we cannot compare that with the number of Porsches that were imported. And that is why I have used, on the contrary, the import of Porsches raised by 50% from 1994 to the year 2001, okay? Raised by 50%, okay? So it almost doubled, because if we look at the beginning, the Porsches that Germany was importing were around approximately 1,500, and by the end of it, they were importing almost 4,000. So it's almost an increase of 50%. Okay, so you're allowed to use percentages as well. So let us now look at some of the features that are very distinct about body paragraph 2. I started with the years between 1997 and 1998. The previous body paragraph 1, I started with the Porsches, the number of Porsches, okay? I also introduced a linking word very, very early at the beginning of paragraph 2, because remember, there should be a link between paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. So you can use a linking word that is the opposite, such as however or on the other hand, at the beginning of paragraph 2. Now, I've also used some phrases that are comparatives in that body paragraph. For example, a significant increase in, okay, a moderate increase, okay. Now, the other thing that you notice is I have used numbers, 3,400. I have used 50%. I have also used years, 1997 to 1998, 1994, 2000, 2001. I have used a number of linking words in that paragraph. I have used however, for example. I have used when, okay. I have used on the contrary, okay. Now, the other thing that I have done in that paragraph is I have tried to avoid repeating the same word. I talked about the importation of Ferraris at the beginning, but in the second sentence I used shipped in, the Ferraris shipped in, because shipped in means the same as importing or importation, okay? And then in the last paragraph, I used the word import. So I used importation at the beginning, and then I used shipped in, and then I used the import of Porsches, okay? And then I used a number of comparatives, like I said. I used a significant increase in, I used raised by, all right? So just to summarize that then, when it comes to the writing of body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2, before you do anything else, you have to divide the information that is provided in the line graph into 2 parts. And then use the information in one part to write body paragraph 1 and use the other information to write body paragraph 2. However, take note that the idea is that in each paragraph, you must compare and contrast. And that's not all. You also must provide a comparison between the 2 paragraphs. And that is why it is very important to begin your first sentence of the body paragraph 2 with a connector. I have used however, okay? Or you can even start straight away by saying, however, between 1997 and 1998, there was a significant that is allowed. Either way, ensure that you begin your body paragraph 2 with a contrasting connector, contrasting body paragraph 2 to body paragraph 1. Okay? Now, also remember that you're supposed to write 150 words for your writing task 1. In this lesson, we are only looking at body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2. In the previous video, we looked at the introductory paragraph and the overview. Your writing task 1 should have 4 paragraphs. So you need to count all the words from the introductory paragraph and then the overview and then the body paragraph and then body paragraph 1 and then body paragraph 2. And you are allowed between 170 and 190 words. So don't be afraid if you go a little bit higher with your word count. But if you go below 150, you will get penalized, okay? The other thing is, be very careful with your sentence structures. I usually tell my students that really your writing task 1 should be made up of at least overview, 2 sentences. Introductory paragraph, 2 sentences. Overview, 3 sentences. That is 5. Your body paragraph 1, 2 sentences. That is 7. And then your body paragraph 2, 3 sentences. So all in all, your writing task 1 should be 10 sentences. Okay? Now, the other thing is, be very careful about your tenses. You notice that in body paragraph 1, my tenses are in the past tense: imported, increased, okay? In body paragraph 2, there was, that is also the past tense. This was followed by, okay? So be very careful with the tenses that you're using, and also be careful with punctuation. Use the commas correctly, okay? Use the commas correctly. Now, the other thing that is very important is ensure that you interchange your words, which means that don't use the same word more than once. Try and switch them around, okay? Like for example, at one point I talked about importation, and then I switched that with shipped in, and then again I talked about the import of, okay? So try and switch your words around. Increased steadily, a significant increase, okay? A moderate decline, a sharp decline. And finally, just remember to use the phrases that I have underlined in this writing task to help you write your own writing task 1. All the words, all the phrases that I've underlined are going to be very helpful, because these are the phrases that we use in academic writing when we are writing a report. So try and see and learn how I have used them and use them in your own writing task 1. That will get you a lot of marks, okay? Now, this brings me to the last section of our lesson. If you found this lesson useful at all, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification button. I will be uploading more videos on writing task 1, but also writing task 2. And remember, if you're looking for cue cards on speaking task 1, task 2, okay? If you're looking for cue cards on speaking part 1 and part 2 and part 3, feel free to have a look at my playlist. I have a lot of videos that will help you with that. And also, if you have problems with your grammar or your vocabulary or your pronunciation, have a look at my playlist. I also have a lot of videos that will help you with that, okay? Now, thank you for your time. I hope you learned something from this lesson. Remember to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share this video with all your friends and family on your social media platforms. And I will see you in our next lesson. Bye bye.